Alright guys, I need to talk about what just happened on ESPN because this was absolutely insane. Jimmy Butler, the guy the Warriors traded for to try to save their season, went on live television and completely unloaded on everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. His new teammates, his old teammates, the coaching staff, the front office, the whole damn organization. This was the Jimmy Butler we've heard about, the guy who doesn't hold back. The guy who doesn't care about burning bridges, and the things he said are going to create chaos throughout the entire NBA. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything, that like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. Let me give you some context. The Warriors are in a weird spot right now. They just lost to the Jazz. The Jazz, a team that's literally trying to tank. A team with 20 wins, and the Warriors, despite being at home, despite having all their available players, couldn't get it done. The shot selection was terrible. 52 three-point attempts when they were clearly getting better looks at the rim. Pat Spencer is somehow still getting minutes over young players who could actually help the team develop. And Jimmy Butler, who was supposed to be the veteran presence that put this team over the top, is watching all of this unfold and clearly isn't happy about it. So when Jimmy sat down for his interview, everyone expected the usual professional responses, the "we need to be better" comments, the diplomatic answers that veterans always give. But that's not what we got. What we got was playoff Jimmy. What we got was Minnesota Jimmy. What we got was the Jimmy Butler who famously destroyed the Timberwolves in practice and then got himself traded. And the things he said are gonna reverberate through the league for weeks. The first question was about the loss to the Jazz and what went wrong. And Jimmy's answer immediately signaled that this was going to be different. He said, "What went wrong? Everything went wrong." But let me tell you the real problem. This team doesn't know how to win. They think they do. They've got 4 championship banners hanging in the rafters. But those banners are from years ago. The guys who won those championships are either gone or too old to do it again. And the guys who are here now, they don't have a winning mentality. They have a comfortable mentality. They come in every day, they go through the motions, and they go home. That's not how you win games. That's not how you compete at the highest level, and I'm sick of being around people who are comfortable with losing. The host was clearly taken aback. He tried to follow up by asking if Jimmy was specifically calling out any of his teammates, and Jimmy's response was explosive. He said, "Am I calling people out? Yeah, I am. Let's start with the obvious. Why is Pat Spencer playing 13 minutes in a game we needed to win? The guy's 29 years old. He's a lacrosse player who learned basketball. Yeah, he's not an NBA player. He's a nice story. He had his moment earlier in the season, but his moment is over. We have young guys like LJ Cryer who are actually talented, who can actually shoot, who can actually play defense. But instead of developing them, we're giving minutes to a guy who shouldn't be in the league. And you wonder why we're losing. It starts with decisions like that. At this point, the interview was already generating massive reactions, but Jimmy wasn't done. The next question was about the coaching staff and whether he felt like Steve Kerr was putting the team in position to win, and his answer was brutal. He said, "Steve Kerr is a Hall of Fame coach. He won championships here, but those championships were won with Steph, Clay, KD, and Draymond at their peaks. That's not what we have now. We have an aging Draymond who can't shoot. We have Steph who's injured all the time. We have a bunch of young guys who don't know how to win. And we have a coaching staff that's still trying to run the same plays they ran in 2015. The league has changed. Teams are bigger, more athletic, more versatile, and we're out here shooting 52 threes a game like it's still the analytics revolution. Newsflash, teams have figured out how to guard the 3. If you're shooting 31% from deep, maybe try attacking the basket, maybe try getting some layups. But no, we just keep shooting threes and wondering why we lose." Then came a question about Draymond Green specifically, and Jimmy's answer shocked everyone. He said, "Draymond is my guy. I've always respected his game, but I'm going to be honest. Draymond is not the player he was 5 years ago. He's not. His shot is unreliable. His defense has slipped. He picks up technical fouls at the worst times. And instead of accepting that he needs to adjust his role, he still acts like he's the anchor of this team. That's a problem." When your veterans don't adjust to reality, the whole team suffers. I've seen it before. I saw it in Minnesota, I saw it in Philadelphia, and I'm seeing it here. Draymond needs to look in the mirror and ask himself, am I helping this team win, or am I holding them back? Because right now, I'm not sure he's helping. The implications were massive. Jimmy Butler just publicly criticized Draymond Green's effort and impact. He compared the situation to Minnesota and Philadelphia, two teams he famously left after creating controversy. And for a Warriors team that's supposed to be unified, that's a devastating blow. Then someone asked about Kristaps Porzingis and whether Jimmy believed he could be the missing piece for this team. And Jimmy's response was surprisingly skeptical. He said, Porzingis is talented. When he's on the court, he looks great. He can shoot, he can block shots, he can change games. But here's my question, when is he going to be on the court? The guy has played like 2 games in the last 2 months. He's always hurt, he's always dealing with something, and we're supposed to build our championship hopes around him. I've been in situations where you're counting on a guy who can't stay healthy. It never works out, it always falls apart at the worst time. So before everyone starts celebrating this trade, let's see if Porzingis can actually play 60 games. Because right now, all we have are projections, and projections don't win championships. Being on the floor wins championships. Then came a question about Steph Curry and the Warriors' future, and Jimmy's answer revealed some frustration with the organization's direction. He said, Steph is one of the greatest players of all time. No one is questioning that, but even Steph can't do it alone, and right now, that's what they're asking him to do. Well, they're asking a 37-year-old to carry a team full of guys who aren't ready. They're asking him to be the savior when the roster around him isn't good enough. And that's not fair to Steph. If you're going to keep Steph, then put real players around him. Make real moves. Stop penny pinching. Stop worrying about the luxury tax. Either commit to winning or don't. But this middle ground, this pretending like you're competitive when you're really not, it's exhausting. I've been on teams like that. They never win anything. Then someone asked about the young players, guys like Brandon Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, and Gui Santos, and whether Jimmy believed in their potential. And his answer was brutally honest. He said, the young guys have talent. Gui especially has been playing really well lately, but talent doesn't mean anything if you don't know how to win, and these young guys don't know how to win. They make rookie mistakes, they take bad shots, they get lost on defense, and the problem is, we don't have time for them to figure it out. Steph's window is closing. My window is closing. We can't wait 3 years for these kids to develop. We need to win now. And if that means the young guys have to sacrifice, if that means they have to accept smaller roles, then that's what has to happen. But right now, there's too much ego. There's too much I want to get mine mentality, and that doesn't win championships. Then came a question about the Jazz specifically and how embarrassing it was to lose to a team with 20 wins. And Jimmy didn't hold back. He said, losing to the Jazz was unacceptable, period. I don't care that they were at home. I don't care about any excuses. When you're a team with championship aspirations, you don't lose to teams like that. You just don't. But here's the thing that bothered me most. We had chances to win that game. We were right there at the end, and we blew it. We took bad shots. We didn't execute. We didn't have the killer instinct to close. And that tells you everything you need to know about this team's mentality. When it matters most, we fold. We've done it all season. And until that changes, we're never going to accomplish anything. Then someone asked about the ownership and Joe Lacob's commitment to winning. And Jimmy's response created even more controversy. He said Joe Lacob loves to talk about winning. He loves to call the Warriors a championship organization, but actions speak louder than words. When you let Klay Thompson walk, when you penny pinch on the roster, when you make decisions based on money instead of winning, that's not championship commitment. That's business first. And look, I get it, it's a business, but don't tell me you're committed to winning when your actions say otherwise. The Warriors had a dynasty. They had something special. And they let it fall apart because they didn't want to pay the price to keep it together. Now they're scrambling to recapture what they had, and it's too late. You can't rebuild a dynasty with duct tape and prayers. Finally, the host asked if Jimmy had any regrets about being so publicly critical, and his answer summed up the entire interview. He said, regrets? No, never. Because I've been holding this in for weeks. I came here to win. I came here because I thought this team had a chance. But the more I see, the more I realize this isn't a championship team. This is a team living off past glory. This is a team that's comfortable with being mediocre. And I'm not comfortable with mediocrity. I never have been. I never will be. So if saying what I said makes people uncomfortable, good. Maybe it'll wake them up. Maybe it'll force some changes. Or maybe they'll just trade me again. I don't care. At least I'll know that I told the truth. At least I'll know that I didn't just go along with a losing culture and pretend everything was fine. The interview ended and ESPN was absolute chaos. Everyone was talking about what Jimmy said. The Warriors organization was probably in full crisis mode. And here's the thing, this is exactly who Jimmy Butler is. He's done this before, he'll do it again. But for a Warriors team that was hoping he'd be a stabilizing veteran presence, this is the worst possible outcome. What happens next is anyone's guess. Until next time, peace.